Before gods, before worlds, before time itself, there was only Ginnungagap, an endless, yawning void stretching beyond comprehension. On one side lay Niflheim, the realm of mist and ice. On the other, Muspelheim, a burning world of fire and chaos. When the icy rivers of Niflheim flowed into Ginnungagap and met the scorching winds of Muspelheim, something miraculous happened. Ice began to melt, and from the steaming drops of water emerged Ymir, the first giant, a being of immense power and primal chaos. Alongside Ymir came Embla, a cosmic cow. From her udders flowed 4 rivers of milk, nourishing Ymir. She too licked the ice, slowly uncovering the form of Buri, the first of the gods. Buri fathered Bor, who in turn fathered 3 sons, Odin, Vili, and Ve. These brothers, seeing the danger Ymir posed and desiring order in the chaos, rose up against the ancient giant. After a great struggle, they slew him, and from his corpse they shaped the cosmos. His flesh became the land, his blood the oceans, his bones the mountains, his hair the trees, his skull the sky, held aloft by 4 dwarves, Nordri, Sudri, Austri, and Vestri, and from his brains they formed the clouds. This was the birth of the universe, shaped from death, a brutal, beautiful creation. The brothers made Midgard, the realm of humans, and encircled it with Ymir's eyebrows to protect it from chaos. High above, they built Asgard, the shining realm of the gods. Thus began the world as we know it. The cosmos is not a single world, but 9, each suspended in the vast branches and roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree. Asgard, home of the Aesir gods, a realm of golden halls and high ambition. Midgard, the world of humans, encircled by a vast ocean and shielded from giants. Vanaheim, the land of the Vanir, gods of fertility, prosperity, and nature. Jotunheim, the realm of giants, untamed and dangerous agent. Alheim, a land of light elves, beings of beauty and mystery. Smartalfheim, or Nidavellir, the domain of dwarves, master smiths, and crafters. Helheim, the realm of the dead, cold and shadowed, ruled by Hel. Niflheim, primordial ice and fog, where cold began. Muspelheim, blazing fire and flame, home to the fire giants and Surt. At the center of all lies Yggdrasil, the ash tree, whose branches hold the heavens and whose roots reach into the deepest realms. 3 great roots anchor it, one in Asgard, near Urd's well, where the Norns weave the fate of all beings. One in Jotunheim, where the wise Mimir guards the well of knowledge. One in Niflheim, near the spring Hvergelmir, where the dragon Midhogg gnaws on the roots. Creatures live upon and around Yggdrasil, the eagle Hasvelgra, whose wings stir the winds. A squirrel named Ratatoskra, who carries insults between the eagle and Nidhogg. 4 stags graze upon its branches, shaking dew across the worlds. Yggdrasil is eternal, yet not unbreakable. It weathers the ages, bearing the weight of the cosmos. As the gods wandered their new world, they found 2 pieces of driftwood washed ashore. Odin breathed into them the breath of life. Vili gave them intelligence and will. They bestowed form, speech, hearing, and sight. They named them Ask and Embla. From these 2 came all of humankind, fragile, yet gifted, mortal, yet possessing spark and spirit. The gods built Midgard for them, encircling it with a mighty wall, protecting them from the Jotnar. Thus humans were woven into the grand tapestry of fate, not divine, yet not forgotten. And in the stars, Odin watched, seeing a future filled with both glory and doom. Not all gods were alike. The Aesir, led by Odin, were gods of war, wisdom, and power. Their realm was Asgard. The Vanir, older and closer to nature, were gods of fertility, prosperity, and peace. They ruled from Vanaheim. Misunderstanding and pride led to war. It raged across the realms. Spells clashed with steel. Even the gods could not escape death and injury. But in time, both sides grew weary, seeing that neither would triumph. So they forged a peace pact. As a symbol of truce, the gods from each side sent hostages to live among the other. The Vanir sent Njord, god of the sea, and his children, Frey and Freya, who became beloved in Asgard. The Aesir gave Honir and Mimir in return. To seal the peace, all gods spat into a cauldron and mixed their saliva. From this mixture they created Quasar, the wisest being ever known. Thus the gods learned that unity was mightier than Asgard. Thus the gods learned that unity was mightier than conquest, and from this unity the divine family grew stronger. The war ended, but seeds of conflict still lingered, whispering of future strife. And far in the distance, the wolves that chased the sun and moon drew ever closer. Hour 2. Gods, giants, and legendary tales. 60 to 120 minutes. Odin, All-Father, the chief of the Aesir. His knowledge was forged in pain, sacrifice, and relentless pursuit. Above all things, Odin craved understanding. To gain insight into the mysteries of fate, he journeyed to Mimir's well beneath Yggdrasil. There, he met Mimir, guardian of deep knowledge. Odin asked for a drink from the well, but wisdom comes at a cost. Mimir demanded Odin's right eye. Without hesitation, Odin gouged it out and dropped it into the well. Mimir gave him the draught, and the All-Father saw the threads of destiny like few ever would. He glimpsed the rise and fall of empires, the cries of unborn gods, and the great twilight that would claim them all. Still, Odin's hunger was not sated. He hung himself from Yggdrasil for 9 days and nights, pierced by his own spear, denying food and drink. As he hovered between life and death, ravens whispered secrets to him. The runes, ancient symbols of power and magic, revealed themselves to him in visions carved into the bark of the world tree. From this, Odin became the god of wisdom, war, and poetry. He was now a master of Gald, songs of sorcery, and with this power, he could make one difference in prison. Songs of sorcery, and with this power, he could shape minds, bend fate, and whisper to the dead. But he always paid dearly for the truths he uncovered. Odin's endless pursuit took him to distant lands. He consulted the Volvas, seers of the old ways. He ventured to the land of the dead, speaking with spirits. He summoned winds and storms to test the limits of divine will. Each step brought him closer to the truths that would both empower and doom the gods. Thor, son of Odin and Njord the earth goddess, was the mightiest warrior among the gods. With his hammer Mjolnir, he defended Asgard from the chaotic forces of Jotunheim. Thunder roared in his wake, and his enemies trembled. Red-bearded and broad-shouldered, Thor rode his chariot, pulled by 2 enchanted goats, Tangrisnir and Tannust. He wielded not only raw strength, but a fierce sense of justice. Where chaos stirred, Thor's hammer struck. Loyal yet hot-tempered, Thor was the protector of Midgard, beloved by humans for his strength and bravery. He blessed marriages, defended the hardest, and was invoked in oaths. But where Thor was force, Loki was cunning. A shapeshifter and trickster, Loki was a blood brother to Odin, though he came from the giants. Sometimes ally, often adversary, Loki's mischief brought both chaos and unintended salvation. He meddled in fates, danced between lies and truths, and delighted in confusion. He once cut Sif's hair as a prank. Sif, Thor's wife, whose golden hair was sacred. To avoid Thor's wrath, Loki sought the aid of master dwarves. A contest of craftsmanship ensued, and from it emerged the finest gifts of the gods. Mjolnir, Thor's thunderous hammer; Gungnir, Odin's unerring spear; Draupnir, a ring that spawned 8 more every 9th night; Sif's new hair, spun from gold and alive like the original; Skidlignir, a ship that could fold into a pouch and always find wind; Sleipnir, an 8-legged steed, born of Loki himself when he transformed into a mare to distract a giant stallion. Asgard flourished and stumbled under Loki's unpredictable games. His children would haunt the gods, but for now, Loki was still welcome, if warily so, in the golden halls. Baldr, son of Odin and Frigg, was the fairest of all gods, bright, kind, and beloved. His laughter was sunlight, his voice like wind on still waters. The world rejoiced in his presence, but he was tormented by dreams of his own death. Shadows lingered at the edges of his mind. Frigg, his mother, sought to protect him. She traveled the realms, securing oaths from every stone, tree, beast, and flame that they would never harm her son. But she overlooked one, mistletoe, a small, unassuming plant, thought too young and innocent to be a threat. Loki discovered this and hatched a cruel plan. He crafted a dart of mistletoe and gave it to Hodr, Baldr's blind brother, under the guise of sport. During the festival in Asgard, the gods amused themselves by hurling objects at Baldr. Watching them bounce off harmlessly, Loki guided Hodra's hand. The dart flew and pierced Baldr's heart. The light vanished from the world. The gods were overcome with grief. Odin rode to Helheim, asking for his son's return. Hel, ruler of the dead, agreed, but only if all things wept for Baldr. Every flower, every tree, every bird wept, but one figure did not. A giantess in a cave, cold-hearted and cruel. It was Loki in disguise. So Baldr remained in the land of the dead. Hope dimmed. The gods could no longer tolerate Loki's schemes. His betrayal and Baldr's death was the final straw. They hunted him across the realms. He fled to the mountains, building a house with 4 doors, watching all directions. But when he slept, they found him. They seized him and bound him with the entrails of his son Nari, while his other son Narfi was turned into a wolf. A serpent was placed above him, dripping venom onto his face. His wife Sigyn held a bowl to catch the poison. But when she turned away to empty it, the venom struck. Loki's screams shook the earth, what we know as earthquakes. Thus ended Loki's place among the gods. In chains he waited for Ragnarök, when he would rise again. Time passed, shadows lengthened, the end was prophesied. The death of Baldr was the first sign. Then the long winter came. Fimbul Vetru, 3 years of cold and snow without summer. The warmth of compassion died. Fathers turned on sons. Brothers spilled brothers' blood. The bonds that held the world together unraveled. Wolves roamed free. Skoll and Hadi, long pursuing the sun and moon, finally caught them. Light fled. The sky turned black. The stars vanished. The great horn Gjallarhorn was blown by Heimdall. the watchman of the gods. Its echo rolled across the worlds. The earth split. Mountains crumbled. Loki broke free. So did Fenrir, the monstrous wolf. His jaws stretched from heaven to earth. Jormungand, the Midgard serpent, wide from the oceans, poison steaming from its fangs. From Muspelheim came Surt, the fire giant, sword burning like the sun. He led the sons of Muspel, leaving scorched ruin in his path. The end had come. The battlefield was Vigrid, vast and grim. All gods, giants, monsters, and heroes met in a cataclysm beyond imagination. Odin charged Fenrir, with Gungnir in hand. The wolf swallowed him whole. Vidar, Odin's silent son, avenged him. He placed one foot in Fenrir's jaw, ripped its mouth apart, and slew the beast. Thor faced Jormungand. He crushed the serpent's skull with Mjolnir, but after 9 steps, he fell, drowned in its venom. Freyr battled Surtra with an antler, having given his sword away for love. Surtra's fire engulfed him. Tyr fought Garm, Hell's hound. They killed each other. Loki met Heimdall. Blade met blade. They fell together. Yggdrasil trembled, Bifrost shattered. The sky cracked. The 9 realms collapsed. Surtra raised his sword one final time and cast fire across creation. But fire was not the end. The earth rose again from the sea. Green and renewed, rivers flowed, stars returned. A new sun rose, daughter of the one devoured. The few surviving gods emerged. Baldr, shining once more. Hodr, forgiven. Didar and Vali, sons of Odin. Modi and Magni, sons of Thor, bearing Mjolnir. Together, they rebuilt Asgard. From deep in the woods of Hodemir's Holt came Lif and Lifthrasir, the last humans who had hidden from fire and chaos. They began anew, populating Midgard with hope. The cycle turned. Light returned. The song of creation was sung again. And in the wind that rustles the trees, in the crackle of fire, in the whisper of dreams, the old gods speak still. The story is not over. It never truly is.